Hello, hello, it's Simone. I'm here today with another process video for the April Lilli design team, and I'm showing you here a sketch that I drew from a Glitter Girl video. It is Glitter Girl video 146, and you can see it is a 4x6 photo. There are different paper layers. There is a journaling box. There are the circles mark the embellishment clusters. I chose this because I somehow thought that I might be able to use the very whimsical paper, this one, as a background when using this sketch. I chose these papers to go with the paper and the photos that I chose, and that fox journaling box was just perfect. So I cut the papers to size, and then I realized, oops, somehow my photos were 4 2x3 photos or 1 4x6 in a vertical style and not horizontal. So that would probably deter from the sketch, and I should have actually then cut the darker green layer, well, it's not green, it's teal paper in wider and not in a I cut it at 6 by, I just cut the paper in half, and will then shorten it as needed, but I should have probably made it wider to consider the wider photos. So now I'm debating whether I want to mat the photos not only on white cardstock but also on this mint green cardstock. It would go with the whole color scheme, but yeah, I'm not really sure. There are different things that I want to know. There is this really dark spot in the top right of where the photos overlap, and when I tuck the journaling box under, it would be such a harsh contrast. So I decided, okay, I'm going to mat the photos on the paper, but I am going to then adjust the size of the mat. And here I'm going, this is just a rough cut, and here I'm looking at how, if I want to have it shorter. So I decide, no, I want the mat even smaller, and that's what takes me so long. I'm going back to my paper trimmer all the time. And yeah, now I'm thinking maybe it should be wider. Maybe it should not be only 6-inch wide, but then it's not deep enough. So I decide, okay, I'm just going with it. And if you should, I don't know, I think everyone watches Glitter Girl videos, but if you don't, she even if she's not scrapbooking in the same style as you do, it's like an online scrapbooking class that you take, and she teaches so many things, and I learned so much from her. So she also has an episode where she talks about trapped space, and that's a nice one. So I decided to just go for it and deal with trapped space. So now, to fill in the trapped spaces, to add something there, I thought, well, I could use the other side of that mint paper and fuzzy cut the flowers, or I could cut some more journaling tags, or there's this paper strip. There's a striped paper in the Dear Lizzy collection that has these stripes. Then I have these, I call them washi strips. Then in her original layout, she cut a journaling card down and used that as the top embellishment cluster, or part of her title actually. And I need something there, so I need something up there, and then there I want something underneath to there to just have not have such a harsh edge there. And so I just placed that flowery washi strip there. Then I just cut the words apart to see where that could go and could end up. And I'm still not very decisive, so I'm going through all of the die cuts and picking out what might go with the layout and what I could put on there, and I'll just take everything out that might work size-wise or thematically. So I have the fox there, and where else will I going to use the fox? I'm thinking about using the washi tape as strips, as layers, but nah. The journaling card could go there, but You're So Cool, and then the contrast to the white was too much for me. Now that I'm looking at it, I think, oh yeah, it would have worked there. But then the photos are not straight, so it looks really strange when you tuck the journaling card underneath the mint paper. Then I decide, well, I'll just go back to my trusty houses and fuzzy cut them and use them as bases for my embellishment clusters. So I have one house cluster for this side. Then I decide I want them to rest on something, and I also, yeah, many of the things that I do here, I really decide very. The choices are to layer them and overlap the papers to the left so that it's not flush with another edge. So just pull everything together. So I'm thinking about maybe if I have this fine, what does it say? Fine new day? Something like that. Maybe if I put it up there, I could work something out, or hey, hey, hey. But the last hey is pink, and that doesn't work at all. So I really go back to that. It says fine little day on top of the photos there in that cluster, and I don't like that the journaling box is hidden so much, and since the fine little day spreads over there, overlaps the journaling box, I want to have enough space for journaling. That's why I moved it over to the right. Then I think about the flowers up there. They just give that fine little day some place to rest. Still playing, I'm still looking for something for up there. I actually don't really want to bring in anything more or anything else. But yeah, I struggle. But I think in the end it turns out really nice and I succeed. I usually don't like using things just on one part. That's something I also learned from Shimal. She usually uses 3 of each kind, and a lot of scrapbookers do that. It's just something that works really nice, like creating a visual triangle. So now I have those houses there, and they are too heavy. It's too big, it doesn't work. And then I would cover up that fox that sits there right above the papers, and it really looks nice the way it peeks out. But if I put the houses there, it just wouldn't. It would be too heavy. Now I decide I'm going to add in another strip, that yellow one, because to break up that the mint, and also to bring in some more yellow, because the yellow is also appearing in that fine little day, and I just wanted somewhere else. Even though it is very close to the little, it just helps justify the yellow on the page. And then I see that tree. in the little row of houses, and I decided, well, maybe if I fuzzy cut that, it wouldn't be so heavy, and there would be, you could still see the fox sitting there, and I could add the other fox up there, and that really, I really like that, and I decided to just stick it down and not think too much about it. So you saw the tags up there. I think I already stuck them down. And then I'm thinking about the embellishment cluster on the bottom right. And I decide to not detach it from the whole page, but to nestle it underneath the journaling tag. So I also want the houses to sit on top of a strip, and then I wonder if I should bring in some more of that dark teal. And there is this flag that says never forget, but it's just too big, and yeah, it's, I look at it twice, and then I decide, nope, no, no, it doesn't look good. I'm deciding that I don't like the 3 houses, and I could actually place the houses on top of the other hay words and just leave one out. I really like that, and then I again go ahead and not overthink it and just go for it. I said before that I want the houses to nestle underneath the journaling tag. I just didn't think that an embellishment cluster on the bottom of the page would look good, since everything else is so compact, and yeah, that's why I decide, no, I'm going to have the embellishment cluster is going to be there, but it is not going to be detached from the main part of the page. Then I am thinking about bringing in more of the labels, just to have another piece of the labels somewhere else on that page. And I thought there was this strange gap, and so I put that label down there and then place another house there. And as I said before, I often do things in threes, so I usually wouldn't have done that, but somehow it just works on this page. So I'm not don't want to be too strict, and yeah, if it fits there, it can be 4. Now I'm adding final touches to the page. I decide to add one of the puffy stickers to each of those clusters, and I also fiddle a little bit with those. I place that bunny there, and it looks up to the fox, and it just fits perfectly there. I place some more yellow on with the little flowers, and I also add that puffy love sticker. The last part of this layout is the title, and it will just be very short and will nestle underneath the photos in between the 2 houses, and it will say poser, because that's what he actually did. I sewed him a pair of sweatpants and took photos for my blog, and he modeled them for me with great poses. That's it. I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this process video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.